Joining us now, let's bring in former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee, former Labor Department Chief Economist Diana Furchtgott-Roth. Thank you both for joining us. First to you, Governor Huckabee. There's a lot of talk about President Biden getting roasted and ridiculed on social media, talking about shrinkflation at the Super Bowl after he refused to sit down for the second year in a row for a Super Bowl interview. What did you make of that?
Well, it was a very highly edited kind of video. You wonder how many takes he had to do to get it right, because as we know, his spontaneous and impromptu moments lately on camera have been anything less than extraordinary. I think the more bizarre thing was, rather than accept that his economic policies have created a level of inflation where companies are trying to survive, it's like he's blaming the food companies. And he never sees that his policies are what's making it tough for Americans to buy butter, bread, and bacon. And I just wish he would kind of get in the reality of life, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, what do you think, Diana, what the governor just said? Because a lot of people saying this is out of touch. What happened, that there's, groceries and food inflation is up more than 33% under Biden. We have that January CPI report coming out, expected to come in at 2.9%. But all in, compounded inflation's up 17.6%. What do you think, Diana?
It really is. I mean, the president was blaming the corporations for shrinking packages yesterday, and it's just like he was doing in the past. He closed an infant formula factory, and then he blamed the companies for high prices of formula. He cut off energy production, and he blamed oil companies from profiteering from the high price of gasoline. Listen, he's increasing regulations. He's preventing inexpensive energy, and then he blames companies, and he doesn't see that moms and dads are really mad about the higher prices and the shrinking packaging.
Yeah, they sure are. The Democrats are circling, and media defenders are circling the wagons, Governor, around President Biden after that damaging special counsel report saying he is in a state of mental decline, questioning his cognitive issues. Listen to Democrat strategist James Carville on the president not doing a Super Bowl interview for a second year in a row. Watch.
It's the biggest television audience, not even close. And you get a chance to do a 20, 25-minute interview on that day, and you don't do it, that's a kind of sign that the staff or yourself doesn't have much confidence in you.
It's the staff doesn't have much confidence, but Governor, we need to talk to you about this new development coming in. Politico is reporting that President Biden has been using the Justice Department to attack Trump, that President Biden complained that, quote, had Attorney General Merrick Garland moved sooner in the 2020 case into former President Trump, quote, a trial may already have been underway or even have concluded. What do you think of White House aides basically admitting Biden planned on using Trump prosecutions to win the presidency, win re-election?
Well, I think they've spoken out loud what we already knew was being spoken in secret. Yes, they've weaponized the government agencies to go after their political opponent. That's something you can say whatever you want to about Donald Trump. He never did that. He never abused the power of his office to take federal agencies, whether it was the IRS, the FBI, the CIA, and turn them loose on his political opponents. Obama did it when he turned the IRS off on to pro-life and conservative groups, and Biden has done it when he's unleashed all of the power of the Department of Justice on Donald Trump and the people who support him. This is a real moment of truth for America, and it's one that we'd better get right. But so far, all we've done is we've had the media cover for the Biden administration on this, and it's high time they pull back the covers and show us that, hey, there's something rotten in Denmark, and it's rotten all the way to D.C.
Yeah, so what the governor said, Diana, let's get your reaction here on this, too, because, again, the president reportedly upset A.G. Garland did not put Trump on trial by now. Watch former President Trump here.
Very bad people. These are very crooked people, because I'm being indicted for you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom, because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me, because I will never let them silence you. I never will let that happen. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. I just happen to be standing in the way, and I always will.
What do you think, Diana?
Well, I mean, President Biden knows his policies won't stand on their own. He's trying to take away our natural gas stoves. He's trying to take away the cars that we like to drive and force us into electric vehicles that break down in the cold. And President Trump is standing up for the man in the street that just wants to be left alone, choose appliances, choose their car, have low prices of gas, be able to drive wherever they want and not rely on an electric charging station that might not work.
Got it. Governor Huckabee, Diana Furchtgott-Roth, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to see you both.